Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is the Ready, Set, Go preview show, and this is a show that we do every single Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. And during this show, what I attempt to do is to talk about some news and current events to provide you with a preview of some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel over the course of this week. And then we also give away a cool slab from our friends over at Go Collect. And shout out to Go Collect because they have been supporting the channel for well over 100 weeks, putting me in a position to be able to give away comics that are valued somewhere between $150 and $200 back to the comic book community. So I definitely appreciate those guys. Earlier today, we actually released a podcast from Go Collect. We do that every single Sunday, in which I go behind the blog. I spend some time talking with bloggers from Go Collect, and we talk about some things, and we go a little bit deeper on some blog posts, and that gets released on the Spotify and Apple platforms, and you can access that if you're interested in that. Again, that comes out every single Sunday night. Again, huge shout out to the folks over at Go Collect for putting me in a solid position every single week. Shout out to my wife for sucking up most of my weekend with internet things. My wife has been complaining about internet problems for about a week and a half, and I finally made some magic happen. I went to the Best Buys. And I picked up the new Orbi, and then I spent a healthy portion of Saturday and a few hours earlier today making sure that the Orbi was up and running and every device in the house was properly connecting. Yes, that was her Valentine's gift. But I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that is here in the live stream. Happy Valentine's to all of you wonderful people. So let me say hello to some comic book soldiers, and then we are going to get into the agenda. My man Sean, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. I'm not even at the top of the list. I just saw you right there, so I thought I would say hello. Randy Resnick is in the house. My man Jerry G. Tina, the OG Blue Wrench, is in the house. It is good to see you. 2021 New Age Investments, one of my Northern California buddies. It's good to see you, my friend. Chris Bigger is in the house, a COMIC SWOLDIER reporter, sending me all kinds of news on a regular and consistent basis to make sure that I don't miss out on a thing. TSP is in the house. Blogger extraordinaire Doug Bratton is up in here. Crypt Keeper is good to see you. Jim, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Master Blaster is in the house. Dave, the other half of the Bratton clan, is up in here. My Canadian brother, Rush Diehard, a 3 or 4 time winner of the Go Collect giveaway. It's good to see you, my friend. Again, hello to Sean. Climbing Comics is in the house. It's good to see you, brother. And again, if you guys aren't following the folks that are in here, be sure that you do, because many of them have YouTube channels of their own, and that includes my man Climbing Comics right there, and this guy right here, another Blue Wrench, Matt Woods. It's good to see you guys. Welcome, my man Jerry. Got to say hello to Jerry. So it is definitely good to see all of you all, and I definitely appreciate everybody taking a little bit of time out of their Sunday night to hang out with me just a little bit. And we're going to give away Usiago, Ujimbo, however you pronounce it. Somebody said I was saying it wrong. I still think that I'm right. But let's split the difference. Yojimbo, we're going to be giving this away in a little bit, and then I'll also be previewing for you guys the new book that is going to be given away this coming week, simply for watching the videos that come out from the channel over the course of this week. So we are going to be a little heavy on DC. We're going to be a little heavy on DC in this show, and also into the coming week. For whatever reason, I am on like a DC kick. There's a lot of really cool stuff that I think is happening right now, and a lot of it does involve DC. So we're going to go heavy into DC. So my Marvel people, bear with me. As you guys know, Marvel is forever in my heart. But this week we are going to spend a lot of time talking about DC. I see people have noticed. People have taken notice of the back wall back there. We are doing some different stuff. It is, after all, Black History Month, and so I thought that I would mix up the wall. So back behind me, is essentially a wall that is a little representative of the books that I have in my collection. And because I didn't have a lot of slabs to fill up the wall, I decided to do something different with a couple of raw books over on this side. We have Philadelphia, Excellence back there, Bitterroot, Prodigy, and also the first appearance of Megaton Man. And so those are all really, really good books, all series that I enjoy. Excellence is okay. I'm not really into magical stuff, but I did pick up a couple of issues and I did read it. But all of those books in many ways are in celebration of Black History Month. So a couple of cool things. And it also demonstrates, thank you guys for bringing that up. Uciago, whatever. Matt Woods, leave me alone. The wall also points out the fact that the collector mount can be used for raw books as well. And I've actually never used it for raw books. I knew that it could be used for that purpose, but I was so into putting the slabs up that I never used it until today. So we went ahead and did it. Every single week, I get at least 1 to 2 questions from people like, what do you use to hang your slabs on the wall? It is called Collector Mount. And if you go to regiecollects.com, the partner page, there is a link and a discount code there for you. I do not make anything from Collector Mount. I think that they just have really good products, and I've had great conversations with Bill, the owner of Collector Mount. So whenever people ask, I simply direct them there. And I think the discount code is like 12% or something like that. But if you go to regiecollects.com partner page, it is there. And again, solid products. I have the Collector Mount on the back wall and also on the front wall as well. So there you go. Scrolling through some of the comments here, making sure. Thank you, DB. I definitely appreciate that. What do you say? The wall of cool. Skeeter's in the house. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. All right. So good change of, yeah, man, we had to do something a little bit different, man. I was we set the kids' bounce house up. We put the kids' bounce house inside because it's been raining like off and on. So it's the bounce house, if you guys know anything about it, has a massive blower, and blowers are loud. So you can't really watch TV on the first floor because the blower is so loud. So I decided to come in the comic book room and do some different stuff in here. And that was part of what I did, was I rearranged the back wall. So thank you guys for noticing that. All right. So to my point of this being a heavy DC week, we're going to jump into the first item that is on the agenda, and it is about Milestone Comics. So DC reveals that they are making a couple of changes for Milestone, and to some degree or another, I think that we knew some of this stuff. We knew some of their plans around the relaunch. I think before it was believed that the relaunch of Milestone Comics was going to happen in February. But now, and I may have missed this news report, but now it appears, according to Newsarama, that the relaunch of Milestone will actually be delayed 2 months. So they're going to push it back 2 months. And so they say the delayed static title, which is the first one that they're going to be released, is going to come out digitally. I think we kind of knew that was going to happen, but they're also going to be releasing this Milestone Returns issue 0, which is a one-shot. And I believe that this thing is going to be released digitally as well. It is going to be a 24-page thing with some new content in there, but it's also going to allow us to revisit some of the things that have happened before, like with the Big Bang event, which is where a lot of the superheroes in this comic or in Milestones actually derive their powers from. But the other thing that this article from Newsarama kind of points out was that they're going to relaunch with Static. They're going to come back with Icon and Rocket, which is my favorite, and then also Hardware as well. But all of these titles, and we've spoken about this before, all of these titles that they are coming out with are all going to be digital first, and we've spoken about that before. And what I noted in here is that they have not announced any details on when the print version of these comics will be made available. And so they're pushing the relaunch back 2 months to April, and they are still coming out with the digital copies. We do not know, however, if print will be forthcoming. And I think that is actually pretty consistent with what Jim Lee said many months ago about their desire to have some diversity, to their desire to go digital first. And if there's proof of concept and solid sales, then they would then release some things in print as well. So we'll see how it plays out. But what they kind of alluded to in this article is that some of the characters will actually have new looks, because Static, I don't think, has ever really worn yellow. Typically, he's like in a blue and black, or dark blue or something like that. But the yellow is new. So again, just a heads up that this is going to be going down. And, Static, I enjoy. I also like Icon. I dig him as a character. Rocket's okay. But I am looking forward to this coming out, and look forward to the new stories, the new content that is going to be told around these characters. So again, just a little bit of an FYI for you guys there. We go back to the chat real quick. Scrolling through physical copies in your lap. Man, I'll tell you, brother, I am a floppy guy. We've spoken about that before. I like to buy floppies. I still read a lot of stuff digitally. The vast majority of what I read is actually digital, but I still like my hard copies because I'm a collector, and I like to collect, and I like to sort, and I like to organize, and I like to back and board, and I like to come in my room and look at the collection. So I'm still a big fan of that. But again, I do read a lot of stuff digitally, and I don't think that that's going to change for me. So scrolling through, oh, Matt Wood, you got to get up on this, brother. You have to get up on this. Matt Wood says, I have to admit, I know nothing about Milestone. That's all right. It's actually okay. These characters and the old books can be a little dated. I'll be completely honest with you. They feel very much like 90s shoulder pad, purple pants kind of stuff. And I say that because I had shoulder pads and a purple suit, a couple of purple suits and pants. But it's very reminiscent of the 90s in many ways. But the characters are solid, man. I enjoy Hardware. I thought his story from back in the day was pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys do moving forward. So scrolling through, see what you guys are talking about. Scrolling through okay, Eternal Thunder, Purple Suit. Yeah, hey, come on now. It was the 90s. I'm from Detroit. I wore a purple suit. I had a lime green suit. I had snakeskin belts. Man, yeah, it was the 90s. You had to go. You had to go big. Static Shock cartoon going live tomorrow on HBO. Pardon me if my D is showing. And by D, I mean my Detroit is showing. You have to have fun. You have to, what does it say? Regie in a purple suit. Man, my pimp game was strong, brother. My pimp game in middle school. No. All right. No, I used to love to dress. I was the kid in elementary, right? My family, my mother's maiden name is Carter. So I was a Carter kid when I went to school. My last name is Simmons, but I was a Carter kid because all of my aunts and uncles and all that kind of stuff went to the same school that I went to. So they were all Carter. So I was a Carter kid. I was the kid that showed up. And I remember this one outfit. I absolutely loved it. It was a tan jacket and pair of slacks, and then I had on the matching tan shoes. Man, I was sharp. This was in elementary. I was sharp. All right. It was the 90s and I was in Detroit. Okay. It's all excusable behavior. All right. So that was one of the big things I wanted to tell you guys about was, again, I like the Milestone stuff. I'm looking forward to what they're coming back with. I think Reginald Hudlin is actually doing some of the work on, I think it's Static. I think he's doing work on Static. But again, I'm looking forward to what these guys are going to be doing. The other thing, because it is, again, a heavy week for DC. This is a big week for DC. And I'll be honest, in some ways, I am kicking myself, and I'll get to that in a hot second. But this week, we are also going to see some magic be made with the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut is finally going to be released on HBO Max, and I think people are super excited about this magic right here. This is something that people have been asking for a very long time. I think the chant was release the Snyder cut. And I think people were like, you know, they were waiting to see what kind of magic Snyder would actually make with his version of the film. And we never really saw his version of the film, because when the film was shot, and I think he was there for all of it, but when it came to the editing process and all that kind of stuff, I think he had to step away. I think he had to step away because of a loss in his family. And the chant, once the movie was finally released and people were a little disappointed in what they saw, was they were like, release the Snyder cut. And so a ton of money has been dedicated to a re-editing of this movie, this movie. And there are some scenes in here that are really incredible. Darkseid is in the movie. And I am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this, to seeing this version of the Justice League. I recently watched again the old version, the version that was released before. I honestly enjoyed it. And with the additional footage that is in this and the ability to see the original vision, the fact that Darkseid is in this version, I am pumped about what magic could be made. I do believe on the 18th of this month, so just a few days away, we will be treated to the Snyder cut. And as I mentioned, they have spent a tremendous amount of money on this thing. They are putting the full court press on, and they are basically, oh, let me play it to the end. They are basically going to, pretend as if this were a brand new movie that is being released. And so because of that, they are dedicating all kinds of money to the promotion of this movie. And again, I'm super excited as we see the Joker there at the very end, streaming March 18th, the Zack Snyder version of Justice League. And I'm hoping that we do not get caught up in the Warner Brothers copyright infringement stuff. So that's why I was trying to play with the screens there a little bit. They normally put me in jail for like 2 days and then take me out when they realize that I'm not just playing the clip and sitting back, but I'm actually, providing some texture to it. So fingers crossed that we don't jam ourselves up. But people are very excited about this, and I'm looking forward to watching this. I know that a lot of DC people out there, including my man Joe, who sent me a message along with everybody else about this thing. I know a lot of DC folks are looking forward to this, and I am excited. And the reason why I am kicking myself is because about 2.5 weeks ago, I had Superman's Pal Jimmy Olsen issue number 134 and Forever People number 1. I have both of those books in my sights, and I was thinking about buying both of those. Those books are basically, if you will, the first appearance of Darkseid. And I think in Superman's Pal Jimmy Olsen, he's like on a little bitty TV screen. And then I think in Forever People, we see a lot more of him. But I was debating buying those books, but I am trying to keep my powder dry for some other things that I'm working on, and did not pick those books up. And fingers crossed that I don't regret it. But it's going to be one of those things. I'm going to watch the Snyder cut, and I'm probably going to be kicking myself inside when I see Darkseid finally on the screen and hear his voice. And yeah, I'm probably going to kick myself. So let me go back to the chat real quick. Justice League has been under the radar for years. Chris Bigger says, I got me Forever People number 1. Thank you, Chris Bigger, for always making me feel better about my situation. I just want it's one of those books that I just never picked up, man. It's one of those books that I never picked up. I do have a couple of copies of Darkseid War with like his daughter in there, Grail and all that kind of stuff. So I think that that's pretty cool. But I probably should have picked up. His first appearance before this thing dropped. So yeah, that was the worst first appearance ever. Yeah, Almighty Liger King is referring to Superman's Pal Jimmy Olsen. I think it's issue 134, 135. Somebody will correct me on that. And he's like on a little bitty screen. It doesn't quite look like Darkseid, like the color is like all off and stuff like that, but we're, they say that that's it. They say that TV screen counts. Just waiting for the granny. Antoine has jokes over there. That's what's up. Let me see what else you guys are talking about. Scrolling through, hope IMAX has bathroom intermission, says Doug. Score, what is Master Blaster says? Score 2 gold books, ASM 64 and 99 signed, hobby funded, thanks to 1G's tutelage. Keep the powder dry, brother. You have to keep the powder dry because you cannot do everything. And so that is my struggle. I have these goals in mind for my collection. And then there's all these shiny pennies that just whisper to me, Reggie, buy me, buy me. And I'm trying to resist the temptation, but the devil sometimes sits on my shoulder. Chris Bigger says he is so gracious. Chris Bigger is just so gracious. He is willing to trade me Forever People #1 for AF-15. It's just, brother, I'm gonna take you up on that. I have this reprint of AF-15. I showed it earlier today. It's a little bent up and crunched, but I will trade it to you right now for Forever People. Almighty Liger, you guys make me feel so good about myself. Almighty Liger Kings, yeah, I have both of those books. My pal Jimmy Olsen was a hard read. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I read it digitally. I just kind of skipped to the part where Darkseid was so I could at least confirm that Darkseid was actually in there, right? But yeah, some of these books, man, some of these books are not very good reads, to be honest with you. Unlike this one, Darkseid War. If you have not read Darkseid War, treat yourself because it is fantastic. I mean, we have the Anti-Monitor, we have Darkseid, we have the Mobius chair. We find out this is what was cool for me when Batman became, what was he, the god of like intelligence or something like that, when he sat in the chair and my man found out that there were 3 Jokers. And then years later, fast forward, we get the 3 Jokers. That Darkseid War, treat yourself. I'm telling you, it is so good. It is so good. Scrolling through the comments here, a lot of DCs. Man, yeah, a lot of DCs are tough to read, but then you could say the same thing about some Marvel. It depends on, what we're talking about. There is some Marvel stuff that is also not very good. But you could also say that just about any publisher in many respects, if they've been around for a while. Jimmy Olsen 134 is the weakest first appearance. I completely agree. You will not get a contrarian argument from me, my friend. Rush Diehard, my Canadian brother, he says, has Forever People, Jimmy Olsen 134 on the radar. Yeah, man, they actually still are not terribly expensive. Like, even if you wanted to go low grade, they're not terrible. If you wanted to go mid grade, they're actually not that terrible. It's one of those books when you see, you're like, why is that so cheap? But there's reasons for it, but then you could contrast it to other books that are very similar in terms of like weak first appearances that sell for a lot more. It is definitely a struggle there. It is definitely a struggle with that one. Scrolling through some of the comments here. those are ones I don't want to change. Those are diapers I don't want to change. You know what's funny? Speaking of diapers, I went to go grab a book bag to take one of my kids somewhere. I reached down in the backside of the bag and there were diapers still in there. We haven't had a kid technically in diapers in a while, but I found diapers in this bag. And then I also realized there were diapers sitting next to the printer, like the main printer in the house. There's diapers. And I'm like, why do we even still have diapers? Like, I don't get it, but that's a whole nother subject. So again, for those that came in a little bit late, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is finally going to be released on March 18th. It is going to be streaming on HBO Max. I am going to be firmly planted on my couch watching it, and I have a feeling that I am going to be blown away the same way that I was blown away from WandaVision. If you guys haven't seen WandaVision, I definitely want to encourage you guys to check that out because that too was magical. All right, so the very last thing that I want to talk to you guys about, I just want to give you a heads up on this one. Trini Howard, I think that's her name. Trini Howard is one of the writers that came on board when Jonathan Hickman redid the X-Men, when he did his fantastic reintroduction of the X-Men. Trini Howard, I think that's how you say her name, came on board. I can't remember what she was writing, but she was writing one of the titles. And there were all of these rumors, if you guys remember, before before the pandemic hit, there were basically going to be 3 phases of X-Men books that were going to come in. Like the first phase was like X-Force, X-Men, New Mutants, Fallen Angels. Like there was a couple of titles that were introduced, and then there were going to be 2 more subsequent waves. But the pandemic hit, plans blew up. One of those books was supposed to be the X Corp. And as you guys know, basically what happened with Jonathan Hickman, the mutants have developed the flowers on Krakoa and turned them into medicine that can cure illness and prolong life. The X Corp was, I think, supposed to be like the business side of like the stuff that Charles Xavier was doing. It was supposed to be like the business side to complement like the war side and to complement what was happening with the trade side through the Hellfire Club, right? And this title was supposed to come out, and I think it was supposed to be a second wave title in the line of 3. And it never came out. And we now have a better understanding of why it didn't come out. Part of it was the pandemic. Yes. The other part of it, I think that the writer, Miss Howard, decided that she didn't like the direction that she was going in and decided to redo the entire title. And now we know that the title is actually going to be coming out. So the X-Men, what does this thing say? X-Men go corporate, and new X-Corp title, Marvel says, will revolutionize the Marvel universe. And so it is going to be very interesting to see how all of this stuff plays out in the corporate world. And there's a phrase in here that they're like cutthroat and ruthless in the boardroom, the same way that they are on the battlefield. So it's going to be really interesting to kind of see how some of this stuff plays out. But it's Angel and Monet St. Croix, I think that's how you say her name. They are going to be I guess like CEOs of X Corp. And I'm gonna read this one. I know that there's been people that have said that this one doesn't necessarily look good, but my commitment from the beginning with this relaunch of the X-Men was to at least pick up the first couple of issues to give it a little bit of a try to see if I liked it. And if I like it, then I would continue to buy it. If I don't, then I get rid of it. And this is one that is actually going to be coming out that I'm actually looking forward to reading. And so there was a section in here. What is this? They say in the announcement, Marvel says X Corp will introduce new concepts that will revolutionize the Marvel universe as we know it. And I have no clue what that means, but it sounds like Marvel believes that this thing is actually going to have some real impact. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Let me pop this up and see if I can show you guys one of the covers. This is one of the covers for the new X-Men book right here. And you can see Monet St. Croix and Angel over here in business suits, and his wings are hanging out. Then you see the version of them in the field, right, in their uniforms and stuff like that. So I'm actually, again, looking forward to reading at least the first issue of this thing to see how it turns out. So what is this? What is this? Hey, Reggie, happy Saturday. Looking forward to X Corp as well. Yeah, man. I mean, all of these things are cool. So we just have to read them and check it out. Joe brought this up, and I did not get a chance to research this. I think Joe sent this to me earlier today. Says also Wonder Girl was canceled. Thought it would be a gimme for the CW. You know, again, I haven't had an opportunity to look into this, but one of the things that I immediately ask myself is, why did they cancel it? And what is the plan now? Right? Because my feeling is that there's probably a plan for it, right? But we will see. We will see how it plays out. Like the cover, looking forward to it, says Darren. Chuck says, cool cover indeed. What is this? Milt says, been staying away from X-Men for some time now. Don't see this. Yeah, this is not the book, Milt, that is probably going to change your mind about it. If you have not liked the direction that they're going in, this is not going to change it, because I think that this is a continuation of what they've already been doing. So what is this, Master Blaster? The self-respect. Man, I'll tell you, man. As I said in one of the videos that I released on the Instagram machine, you know, if you as a YouTube creator release a video that is an unboxing, something related to CGC, something related to spec, those videos tend to do pretty darn well. There are other videos that you create as a content creator that you do because one, they're fun, two, they keep things interesting, three, because they also kind of help people. So I released a video recently on self-reflection, on taking the time to reflect upon what it is that you have accomplished or honestly failed on, and take from those two things some lessons, right? And take those lessons forward to make you a better person and make you a better collector, to maybe find some happiness, right? So that's a video that does, it didn't do as well as other videos. It still did okay, right? But that's actually okay. That's actually okay that it doesn't get a ton of views, because I think that those people that did take the time to watch it actually enjoyed the video. And to me, again, that's really cool, especially when people drop comments like some of the ones that I'm actually seeing in here right now. So I definitely appreciate that. And it's coming from a couple of my favorite people. So, you have to take it with a grain of salt, Thank you, Tina. I definitely appreciate that. You guys are awesome. What is this? Children of the Atom comes out this week, right? That looks like it should be an interesting read. I don't know. I'll have to defer to you, Comic Hunter, on that, because I honestly don't know. I've been looking at some of the preview stuff a little bit more recently, to be honest, because I started doing some pre-orders for some things that are coming out a little bit later. So I started paying attention to some of that. But you could be right. You could be right about that. So scrolling through some of the comments here. Okay, cool. I think I'm all caught up on that. All right, so let me go ahead and give you guys a preview of some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel over the course of this week. And then we are going to go ahead and jump into the Go Collect giveaway. So there are 3 videos, 3 pre-recorded videos that are going to be released this week, and they include 5 resources for better collecting. And I can't remember which Patreon member suggested this topic, but they did several weeks ago. The video was filmed immediately and it's just now coming out. But 5 resources for better comic book collecting. I'm going to do a video. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to release a video on hunting DC's best story of all time. So I am hunting for DC's best story of all time, and I will not tell you what that story is. But when you see the thumbnail, you'll kind of know the story, and then I'll actually go into what the book is, and then you'll see me hunt for it. So it'll be a cool video. At least I think that it'll be a cool video. And one of the other big things is what comes after DC Future State. There were, Joe and I have spoken a lot about this, about what Future State is, what DC may be planning with Future State. And in this video that I'm releasing, it'll talk about what comes next, what comes after Future State. And I think it'll be a cute, cool video that folks will enjoy. But again, I told you guys it was going to be a heavy DC week. So there's basically 2 videos that are very much focused on DC. And then we'll also have the Comic Today show. So the pre-recorded videos come out 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And then Comics Today, the live show, is on Wednesday to celebrate New Comic Book Day. That happens at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So hopefully folks will tune in for that. All of the content, I think, is all good content, but we have a healthy amount of it coming out. So in addition to those things, I also will be releasing one podcast tomorrow on Patreon. That is going to be dropping on Patreon at 7 a.m. on Monday. And then I'm also releasing one blog post from my man Doug on Wednesday, also at 7 a.m., all in Pacific time. So that is some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel over the course of this week. Let me go back. What is this? Chris is asking, what is your opinion on the $7.99 price tag on select DC comics? That's a tricky thing. So what I will say to you is that historically, and I think for the last 10 years, the price of comics have averaged about $3.99 or something like that. There are some comics to the point here, especially DC books, I do believe, that are selling at $7.99, $6.99, and sometimes a little bit more than that. I think it's all, the cheaper is always better, right? But the question is what these days actually gets cheaper, right? I honestly don't feel bad paying a couple of extra bucks for something if I'm getting like some card stock on that book, or if because if you watch the video that I just released this week about wavy paper, if I'm getting a book that has some card stock on it, if I'm getting a book that actually has some good storytelling in multiple stories and like it's a thick book, I can actually get on board with the occasional thing. That does not mean that there isn't sticker shock when I ring up my books and I'm like, how much was that? So I get that. But the one that readily comes to mind is the next Batman. The next Batman was incredibly expensive. I think it was $7.99, but it was also card stock, I do believe. And it was also a really thick book in that it had multiple backup stories. So again, the occasional extra couple of bucks, it is what it is, right? There is nothing out there in life that is getting cheaper. I mean, heck, we pay $4 for coffee right now, right? So scrolling through the comments right quick, Milt is like, yep, I don't like it. The great thing, hold on, let me go through this. The next Batman said, yeah, $7.99. Yeah. Yep. The great thing about it, man, I mean, and this is not what people want to hear, but you can always do digital. You can always do digital if you want to keep it cheap. I mean, they came out with the next Batman was expensive at $7.99, but Swamp Thing was $3.99, I want to say. And I only know some of these prices, honestly, just because I did an interview with a Go Collect blogger for an upcoming episode, and we actually talked about the prices of books. So that's why it's fresh on my mind. I don't readily pay attention to price tags. I'll be completely honest with you on that. The two G's is what he say? Hello, Reggie with the double G made it to the That's what's up. It's good to see you, Double G. Scrolling through the comments here, Chuck says DC books equal monthly mortgage payment. Man, your mortgage is cheap, brother. Can I get in on that action? Scrolling through. Let me see. Okay, cool. I think I'm all caught up. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and give away this book right here. I refuse to pronounce this book anymore. I refuse to try to pronounce it. You see the name right here. We're going to give this book away to one lucky subscriber right now. It is a 9.6 with white pages, and somebody's going to get it. Oh, as a reminder, if you are a Patreon member and you have not yet watched the Patreon giveaway that I did earlier in the week, I definitely want to encourage you to do it, because the prize still has not been claimed. So I definitely want to encourage you guys, if you are a Patreon member, to please take the time to watch that video, because you might just be the winner. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our dice roller. Let's roll some die and find out how many times we're going to have to randomize this thing. And we have rolled 4 times is the number. So let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. So as a reminder, for those people that, oh man, I just hit the button. I hit the wrong button. That's the first time that's happened. As a reminder, if you do not know how to enter the Go Collect giveaway, that is done on the channel every single week, I want to encourage you to search on YouTube for Regie Collects Go Collect. There is a video that provides you with all of the details on how to properly enter the giveaway. If somebody comments on the video or on the page what the phrase is, like, where do I put the phrase? I just delete your comment, because that is not the way that we actually do it. This is like Fight Club. Regie with 2 G's down there in place 232. The Go Collect giveaway is like Fight Club. We do not talk about it. All right. So I actually, as you guys heard, I accidentally hit the randomize button. So that was 1. Here is 2. Going to randomize it a 3rd time. And then here is the winner of this week's Go Collect giveaway. It is Sean Nelson. Sean Nelson. You, sir, have 1 week to claim your prize, and you claim it. Oh, let me change that back. I forgot to change it. Sorry about that. You have 1 week to claim your prize by sending an email to me at regie@regiecollects.com, REGIE at regiecollects.com. And what I need to know, Sean, is your real name and your government name. Your government name and your screen name, which might be the same thing, and also your mailing address. If you send that over to me, I will bundle up for you this awesome comic right here from our friends at Go Collect, along with nothing else. I just realized I have no more of the exclusive variants from Go Collect, but I will bundle this book up for you and send it over to you immediately. So please make sure you send me that email. You basically have 1 week to do so, 1 week to claim your prize. And if not, then it goes to the next person. So where is Jerry? I'm waiting for Jerry to say, show the next book. There it is. There it is. We've been doing this little routine here, Jerry and I think for about 20 some odd weeks, we've been doing this little dance. So shout out to you, brother, for keeping me honest. I definitely appreciate you, brother. Tina's like, thanks to everybody. Sean, is Sean in here? Is Sean in here right now? Congrats to Sean if he is. Nope, not that Sean. Not that. Sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. Not this time. The next one. The next time Sean is called, it'll be you. All right. So this is the book that we are going to be giving away this week. It is A Man's Called Nova, issue number 1, a 9.0 with white pages. And as a reminder, again, the books that we give away are valued somewhere between $150 and $200. So this is the book right there. And let me show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to dive here. I'm going to dive for it. Oh, here we go. So I showed these on the Instagram earlier today. I'm still waiting, I think, for one other book to come in. But this is one of the books that we'll be giving away at some point. This is X-Men issue number 13. This is the second appearance of Juggernaut. It is a 4.5. This is one of the books that we are going to be giving away from, again, Go Collect. And then also Strange Tales issue number 143, a 9.2. And again, you can win these books simply by watching the videos that come out from the channel on a weekly basis. And in one of those videos is a phrase. You capture that phrase, you head over to the community tab, you find the post where I'm talking about the book, you click on the link, go to MailChimp, you plug in 3 pieces of information. 2 of them are relevant to you, and one of them is a phrase that I would have given you in the video. You plug all of that stuff in, and then you are in the running. You tune into this show right here, the Ready, Set, Go preview show, to find out if you are the winner. So a couple of really cool books that are going to be coming up here in the near term. The Man Called Nova issue number 1, and certainly X-Men issue number 13, the second appearance of Juggernaut. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right. Philip, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling through the phrase that pays indeed. So a couple of cool books. I think I'm also going to revise my strategy slightly for the books that I select for Go Collect. I try to get higher grade books that are still within that range. And I may actually start to go with more keys that are lower grade, but still within that range. So I'm kind of noodling how I want to play that. So I'm actually playing around with that. Andrew says, do you ever keep the books? No, I do not, because that would be a violation of my contract. No, we actually don't have a contract. We have a gentleman's agreement. The thing about it is that, no, I don't. I go shopping for the Go Collect books like once a month, and I buy all of them. And a lot of times I buy books that I kind of sort of like, that I'm kind of sort of interested in, but they're purchased for the purpose of giving them away. And because that's my mindset, I never feel tempted to actually keep them. I have, however, regretted giving some books away. Like I gave away a Submariner book, Submariner issue number 1. Can't remember what grade it was, but it was a nice book. I regretted giving that away because I have 2 copies of Submariner. Neither is graded, and this was actually a pretty nice graded copy that someone walked away with. So scrolling through some of the comments here. Oh my goodness, that is funny. Yeah, I have this reprint for you, bro. Smoking. It might be. I have 2 of them. No, I have more than that. One is really low grade and one is a 9.8. All reprints, they are yours, my friend. So scrolling through. All right. So again, a lot of really good content that is going to be coming out from the channel over the course of this week. I definitely want to encourage you guys to actually check it out. We are going to be releasing one video talking about what comes after DC Future State. So I hope you guys will watch that one. I think it's a good video. We're also going to be doing 5 resources for better comic book collecting. And then the last one is that I'm going to be hunting for DC Comics' greatest story of all time. So a couple of the pre-recorded videos that are going to be dropping Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. So giving away low grade reprint. Man, I'm telling you, I'm a giver. I am a giver. All right, guys. So I definitely again want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. Again, huge shout out to the winner, Sean Nelson, this week's winner of the Go Collect giveaway. He is the winner out of 232 names. So congrats to him. You still have again 1 week to claim your prize. I will bundle it up and send it out to you. If any of you guys need me, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram at Regie Collects, and I look forward to mixing it up with you over the course of this week in the comment section of my various videos. And if you are on Instagram, I definitely want to encourage you to check out my story, Help a Brother Out. I am trying to reach 21,000 subscribers in 2021, and there is a request in the story for you if you care to help me out. Take care.